Bismillah, Assalamu alaikum. Today I am coming to you from the beauty of nature, subhanallah. There's nothing like being in nature that really connects you to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His power. Because when you look around in nature, it's just so abundant. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not create stingily. He creates in abundance. He doesn't just create one type of green. I mean, being out in this park, and it's a small park, I'm seeing so many varieties of green, so many varieties of brown, so many different types of leaves, so much detail, intricate detail in the leaves and the branches and the barks of trees. And for me, this is evidence of how meticulous Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is, how perfect His plan is. Because that kind of perfection and meticulousness is not just in the trees. It's in you, it's in me. Not that we are perfect, but in that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is designing our journeys perfectly, even when it doesn't seem like it. Because I want to tell you today about some of the du'as that I have made throughout the years, right? I'm 41 now, alhamdulillah. And some of the du'as, yesterday was my birthday, by the way. And some of the du'as that I have made at various points in my life, and they didn't seem to immediately be answered. Now, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us that du'as are always answered. That's a promise from Him. And it's answered in one of three ways. Either you get what you want, or a calamity is removed from your way, or that the reward for that du'a that you made is stored for you in the akhirah. And some have even said that, it's even been said that when you see how great that reward is for you, that it was stored in the akhirah, you will wish that none of your du'as were answered here, subhanallah. But we want it all, right? We don't want just we want dunya and we want akhirah. May Allah grant us goodness in both. And some of the du'as that I've made 20 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 3 years ago, 1 year ago, some things you see it in real time. You make a du'a and it's answered, and alhamdulillah. And some du'as take time. And that can be for many different reasons. And in the past 20 plus years that I've really been thinking about this and pondering on my deen and my relationship with Allah and dua, I've come to realize that it's there is a perfection. There's a perfection to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's timing. And we cannot always see it. Because obviously, with your limited human mind, you want what you want when you want it, how you want it, right? When do you want it? Now, right? You don't want to wait. And to hear someone say, sometimes you have to trust Allah's timing is annoying. It's like, well, I don't want to trust timing. I don't want to wait 20 years, 10 years, even 1 year for my dua to be answered. And I get that. That's a very human thing to feel. I have felt that too, so I know how it feels. But there is a real hikmah in this. Because making dua is one thing. But how you are thinking of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala whilst you make that dua, whilst you are waiting for what you want to come to you, that patience, that sabr, that keeping consistent with the dua, even when it doesn't look anything like it's coming to you, like circumstances are not changing at all, right? That sabr of thinking good of Allah, of staying obedient to Him, all of that is transforming you. It's building your taqwa. It's building your relationship and your trust of Him. And one of the things that we don't talk about enough is the practice of holding a good opinion of Allah. That's actually a form of worship. It's a form of ibadah. On a neuroscience level, it is a neuroscience hack. When you choose to believe good about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that there is something so powerful and so great that has created you and that is looking after you and has mercy on you, it actually rewires. It rewires your system. It allows you to see good in life. It allows you to see where you are taken care of. It's actually even good on a cellular level. There have been research studies that have shown that when you choose to think good thoughts like that it's actually good for your immune system. It boosts your biology, alhamdulillah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made this practice of seeing Him as good and trusting Him not just a form of ibadah, but it's truly a form of goodness on your mind, your mental health, your emotional health, and even on a physiological level, on your actual cells and immune system, subhanAllah. And this is a practice. This is something you have to practice. It's not something that, you just say, okay, well, that's what I'm going to do. You have to practice it. In everything, you have to keep reminding yourself, when something happens, pay attention to your life. Be aware. Notice the little things. Notice how, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, maybe you got late for something. The other night we got late by 10 minutes or something like that, and we couldn't help it. And then we left home, and then we saw that there was an accident on the road. And maybe that delay was Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala taking care of us and making sure that we stayed out of harm's way. Now, you may say, well, Zaahida, how do you know that? Because I choose to have a good opinion of Allah. Because I have practiced over and over. I have wired myself through practice over the years to think good of Allah, to see any circumstance and say, how is this working out for my highest good? How is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has planned? How is this all part of His plan to do what is best for me? Because Allah always, whatever happens in the life of a believer, it is good for that believer. And that is only the case of the believer. But the question is, do you see it that way? Do you consciously choose to see it that way? Do you make an effort to see it that way? Or are you constantly thinking about how things are never working out for you? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, I am as my servant thinks of me. If you are always feeling like Allah doesn't listen to you and He doesn't listen to your du'as and He's not going to answer it, that is the reality you will experience. There's something in our brains called the reticular activating system. And it's a really powerful thing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed us with. It's this part of our brain that helps us focus more on what we're focusing on. You can always think of it like the algorithm of your brain, of your neurology, right? And what the reticular activating system does is, the more you think about something, the more you ponder on it, the more you focus on it, the more your brain will make you focus on that very thing that you're focusing on already. Let me give you an example. If I tell you to close your eyes right now and think about everything in the room around you that is green, and now open your eyes, now look around, you will suddenly start noticing green everywhere. Not because there is more green, but because you have now primed your reticular activating system to seek that out. And so the more you choose to intentionally see in your life, how is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doing this for my highest good? How is this working out for me? In the delays, in the changing circumstances, in the little things, in the little day-to-day things, do you notice, do you think of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Do you attribute it to Him? When you start living your life this way, it changes the level of taqwa that you bring to your dua. You start to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from a different level of tawakkul. You start to actually believe that He is going to answer your dua. He's going to answer it in the best possible way and at the best possible time. And through this, you don't just end up making dua more. And the more you make dua, the more you get answered duas. It's a win-win situation all the way through. But also, you build something even more powerful than a manifest dua. You build strong belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You build tawakkul. You build yaqeen. And that's the biggest gift of it. Start noticing how you are interpreting the daily events in your life. Start noticing how you're interpreting that, and start training your mind, your reticular activating system, to seek the good in every situation. Start asking yourself this question, not just once a day, but numerous times a day. How is this working out for my highest good? I trust Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is making this work out for my highest good. Do that every single day for the next 30 days. And I guarantee you, your life will start to change. Because you will start to change. Your taqwa, your yaqeen will start to change. Your belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will change. Your relationship with Him will start to change. Try it. Now, tell me in the comments that you are trying this out. Make that commitment, make that intention for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and for the sake of your future, not just dunya future, but akhirah future. And I can't wait to see you next time. Till next time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.